Peace family, it's the Hood Mystic representing www.hoodmystic.com. Be sure to check that website out. Also, patreon.com/hoodmystic. This is something that we do on a daily energy readings where we discuss the astrology. I look at the astrology, try to find a pattern, try to find a topic, and deliver that topic. Some of these topics I'm well familiar with. Some of these topics I'm not familiar with. But what I am doing is following the astrology. The astrology is leading me to a place that I could have a subject to talk about. Today, doing the astrology, the where I've been led to is the lust for result, the lust of result. So I want to be crystal clear about this message, crystal clear about this astrology, crystal clear about this tarot as we begin to, discuss this energy for today. So peace to everybody. Give me 1 second. All right, y'all. Peace. How's everybody doing this morning? How's everybody doing? I'm doing well. I got some business to take care of around 10 o'clock, so we'll make this thing somewhat short. We're gonna build. So, dang, we gotta look at it together. But just use it if you need it. So the third decan of Scorpio is where Jupiter is headed, and so we'll talk everything about the third decan of Scorpio where Jupiter's placement. Good. You good? Okay. So the third decan is ruled by Venus, Moon, and Cancer. Jupiter enters, it's at 20 degrees Scorpio. It's entering into the third decan. So this energy is something good to discuss, something good to explain, something good to break down. And so to understand, each decan that we've discussed these past 3 days have been ruled by Venus. So hopefully when I say Venus rules a decan, instantly you think freedom. Freedom. Venus equals freedom. Just use it. Try it. See if it works for you. Venus, where is Venus at in your chart? Is that where you have freedom at? Try it. See if it works. Venus, the moon, and Cancer. And so the moon is all about connecting. The moon connects the dots throughout the astrology. Throughout the days, throughout our fortnight, which every 14 days, the moon travels half of the celestial sphere, and for the other 14 days it travels the other the other half of the celestial sphere. Basically, the moon gets to see all of the different variations of your being. Basically, the moon is your subconscious mind. Your moon has all contact throughout all of your different aspects, whatever. The moon could travel throughout your chart, get some shit popping, and then as soon as you have it, it disappears, because the moon does not work on your time. The moon works on its own time. So really understanding that the moon is really your connection. So freedom through connection. And then we have the astrological sign of the third decan, which is Cancer. So we have what is true to us, what is real to us, what we know about our feelings. So deep in my feelings. So freedom through connection, through your true feelings. And this is different from wanting shit. See, if I'm tapped into my true feelings, that's all I want. I want to honor how I truly feel, and that's the end all be all. And from this place, I can tell who is a match to my vibrational frequency. I can tell a lot about my life by being true to my feelings. Understand, if I'm not true to myself, then that puts me at a susceptibility for a variety of negative experiences based on me not being sure on what I want. So this is a vibe. This is a threshold that we'll have to cross. Because the issue with a lot of people in situation, things of that nature, is that they want it to end in a certain type of way. They want it to be in a certain type of way. So once I want something, right, then I'm no longer free. Does that make sense? Once you make an attachment to something, then you've removed your freedom. The only thing that keeps you free and keeps you attached is knowing where you're at 100% of the time. Knowing that at any moment you could walk up out of this call center and never look back. Knowing that you could get up out of this relationship at any moment and never look back, because you are not a slave, you are free. Any situation that takes that freedom away will have karma to it. And even if you are in a situation, you got to be strong enough to know that, okay, I work this job, but I'm here for a reason. But then again, if these people disrespect me, or if this shit gets too much to the left, if my vibration gets too much down, then I'm out of here. I'm here for a purpose. I'm here because this matches to my true feelings, and that's the only reason why I'm here. So peace. And so we talk about the third decan of Scorpio, and Jupiter is entering into this energy before it goes into Sagittarius, before we put on our crown. There's one last step in Scorpio that we really got to address when it comes to being a king / queen or empress, whatever word you want to use. And let's get off the titles. Let's just understand the symbolism of what a king represents, what a queen represents. So what is that not? Does a king want to be a king? Or is a king already a king and he don't need to want that shit no more? So our wants put us in a state of subservience. Our wants put us in a state of being the slave class. Our wants put us in the state of being a minority. The reality is different because we have wants. We want a bigger house. We want to live in a nicer neighborhood. We want all of these things. And so therefore, when I speak to the reality, it's like, well, we'll get to the reality later. Let me get my wants first, and then we can talk about this spiritual shit. And I'm cool for it because I got time. I'm a young man, and I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. Beard going to be nice and gray and long. I'm going to still be talking this shit. So get all the money that you need to get all of the girls that you want to get all of the things that you want to get in this physical life. I'll still be here. When you're ready for yourself, holler at me. Don't think that some existential thing is going to create some value for you. I want you to know that the only value in your life is you. The only value is when you come up and you show up in your relationships. You tell people how you truly feel, positive or negative. The only value in this existence is you. I don't care if you had the biggest diamond in the whole fucking world. I'd be like, damn, you got the biggest diamond in the whole fucking world. Okay. What that conversation be about though? What's this bill gonna be about? Oh, nothing? We just gonna talk about this big ass diamond that you got? Okay. Let's build on this big ass diamond then. So Jupiter entering to the third decan represents an illumination. And we have to realize that illumination is not enough. So much of us have illuminated ideas, thoughts, visions. You know, we could talk about this conscious shit all day long. That's not enough. Illumination is like a prep cook. Getting all of his ingredients, preheating the oven, getting all of his pots together. But we're talking about a master chef. So illumination is like, okay, I know what I'm gonna cook today. How many times have you niggas ate dinner with somebody that said, okay, I know what I'm gonna cook? And then we sit at the dinner table and ain't no food there. And we look at this chef like, bro, what's the problem? I knew exactly what I was gonna cook, bro. It's gonna be amazing. Well, how come you ain't cooked it? Bruh, I'm illuminated. I'm woke. I'm conscious out here. Like, I'm seeing all of these visions, bruh. Well, what the fuck are you gonna do about this dinner, bro? We hungry. Bruh, you gonna have to get up on this. You gonna have to join this class. You have to do some more existential shit for me to start cooking. You would get to a point with these conscious people to realize that they not illuminated at all. They talking and there's no action steps behind it. There's no weight behind it because they stopped at Jupiter illumination. But that's not enough. The dreams, the visions, the psychic work, and all of the proficient spiritual shit that y'all good at, it's not enough. For one, you can't explain it to your mama. For two, you not helping nobody. For three, you live in the same life that you was living when you was not conscious, when you was at church, when you, like, same shit, same relationships. Nothing's different. Oh, you got an ankh on you. Oh, the only difference is now you talk shit about Christians. Now all of a sudden you better than Christians. But last time I checked, you, instead of tithing, you giving money to everybody every week for a different reading or a different existential device, and nothing is wrong with that. But I'm saying that's not the goal. The people don't have the answers for you because nobody has lived your life. So the only thing that one must do is understand that this gift, this idea, this work is all about illuminating yourself, but not just illuminating yourself. You gotta actually cook. Once you figure out what you gonna make, the idea is to get your ass in the kitchen, start chopping up some goddamn vegetables, and having something to serve up every day for the people to eat. See, you don't have nothing for the people, but you wanna get something from the people. It don't work like that. It's never gonna work like that. And as bad as you wanna be successful and as talented as you are, you don't give a fuck about people, and that's your problem. and it's within you. You cultivate it within you, but then you don't sit there with that and say, look at me in all my woke splendor. Look at all of the great shit that I'm doing now that I'm woke. I'm telling you, this spiritual shit has helped me in ways that I can't even begin to explain. I can't even begin to talk about it because I got something to do at 10 o'clock. So many different things in my personal life. Like, hey, bro, if you talking to a spiritual person and they talking about all this shit that they can do for you, take a step back and ask them, how have spirituality helped cure them in their life besides them making money off of you? This is how. We wanted children. We wanted a peaceful existence. We wanted safety. We wanted love. We wanted, you know, working together, you know, reciprocation. We wanted, you know, affection. We wanted, you know, all of these things that me and my wife have worked on spiritually and manifested it in our lives. We don't have to promote spirituality as a way to help you. I don't even do that. If I do an astrology reading or if I do a tarot reading, that's not, it can be spiritual, but that's not spiritual energy that I'm using. I'm using mental energy because I've studied some shit. Like the same way as a doctor, you would come see a doctor. That doctor is not using magic to heal you. He's using his mental database of information. That's the same thing I do with astrology. My spirituality is not for fucking sale. My spirituality is for my family. For it's shit in everybody's lives that needs improvement. So when you speak of spirituality, how to mold it, how to cultivate it, it's strictly for yourself. It's not for you to profit off of. And of course, people are going to profit on it and people are going to tell you that I'm wrong. But at the end of the day, they're going to still want that $59.99. So be mindful. Think about it. Understand that people are profiting off of your ignorance. People are profiting off of your inability to connect to self. And so they know that you want to connect to something outside of yourself. So they're right there like, come to me, connect to me. Connect to me. But you need to connect to yourself. You need to understand this astrology. You need to understand that these energies are for your goodness. So we have Jupiter trine Neptune, sextile Pluto, and sextile Sun. That is a minor, no. That's a grand sextile. A grand sextile is, I know exactly what I'm gonna cook for dinner. I know exactly, I have everything that I need to cook. I don't gotta go to the grocery store for nothing. All I have to do is cook. That's the problem. People don't want to cook. People hate cooking. They rather eat out, have somebody else do the cooking for them. And then if you get a foodborne illness from eating somebody else's food, then you're gonna have to sue. But my thing is, you could have cooked yourself. So sextile Pluto is what we talked about yesterday, that synchronicity. Synchronicity starts within you. So if you want something, say for instance, you want a person. You get to know that person. You see what that person likes. Then your inner psychology has to change to be that person, be what that person likes. Now, a lot of people are not comfortable with that. People don't want to change for another person. And you don't have to change for another person. But you have to set up your inner psychology to what you want to manifest for yourself. Because if your inner psychology is, oh, I want this person, and this person like, well, I want this, then you like, well, I don't want to do that, then you need to take a step back and your inner psychology is fucked up. You don't want this person if you ain't willing to change for that person. Simple shit. But it's a lot of people who would be like, you know, well, it has to be a certain way. But nobody told you to want that person. So if a person If a person wants me, I'm open to it, but there's some shit that you gotta do, because otherwise, don't want me. You know, just knowing yourself. And so as we deal with this card, as we deal with this energy, this lust for result, we have to really understand that you want to cook a meal. That's perfectly fine. But wanting to cook a meal is not going to ever cook a meal. It won't ever cook a meal. Like, I want to cook this food. I want to be in this situation. I want to do all of these things. Like, do you know that that is your block? That is the problem, that you want something. All of these, and trust me, spiritual attainment and thinking that you are something is the same as wanting a lot of money. That's deep. Cause you think that, you know, cause a spiritual person is gonna talk shit about a Puff Daddy and a rapper wearing chains and shit. But my nigga, you wanna be just like them. You doing the same shit. How many spiritual people have you seen put out music videos? How many spiritual people are rappers and things of that nature? So, and I'm not even acting like I'm better or worse, because I'm the same way. So trust me, this thing is deeply connected. But in this work, the point that I've gotten to, the point that I'm at now with this energy is that I don't want anything. We got to really understand this sentence. And if you don't understand this sentence, you're not going to understand the root of the lust of result. And understanding this is pendulated basically on one word: unassuaged. It's a word that is hard to understand, but once you understand this word, you'll understand the lust of result. For pure will, unassuaged of purpose, is delivered from the lust of result, is every way perfect. So pure will is walking in the future, speaking things into existence based upon connection to soul, not based upon trying to make these niggas mad at you this summer, you know, worried about what other people are thinking. You are speaking directly from your soul out of your mouth. Unassuaged of purpose really represents you being burdened with purpose. Every time I move forward, I'm burdened with purpose. Thus, for everything that I say is related to my will. I will do this. I will do that. I will things into existence. If I will do something, I cannot want to do something. Understand that. If I'm willing something, I'm no longer wanting. And so this goes back to what we talked about yesterday. If I'm willing in the moment, I'm no longer wanting. Will and want can't live in the same space. If I'm in want, then that takes up all of my space. My whole space is confined to wanting some shit. As I'm in the space of wanting, I'm not willing. And the result of me wanting is not, it's paralyzing me. It's stopping me. But if I'm willing, if I'm actually doing the things, then I'm not wanting to do it. Therefore, I'm fully invested into my magic. So when it comes to wanting shit, expecting shit, and then if things don't go right the first time, you done gave up on some stuff. You need to know that this is for you. You need to know that this information is valid, because if you going into this situation, if you going into this energy constantly wanting stuff, constantly feeling like you need to manifest, constantly feeling all of these different vibrations, then that's the problem. And you're going to be a drain to the situation. It's important to just live your life without wanting shit, and that's the hardest thing to understand. But if you understand Jupiter, Jupiter is your hippocampus. Jupiter represents new information. What's good in life? Why do they say Jupiter is all for expansion and things of that nature? Because Jupiter represents a spark to your hippocampus, a new thing, like a new car, a new lover, a new. Like, we love new things. We love new experiences. Do we want those, or do we just experience it? And when we experience it, we can't be wanting it in the same space. So just constantly building up and focusing on your inner psychology. What vibe do you want to manifest? You are the creator of that vibe, man. We've built up to this conversation. So if this conversation is hard to grasp, you really need to understand that you are the magnet. We talked about this earlier. You are the magnet to the experiences that come into your life. So if you haven't refined your energy, if you haven't transmuted your energy, and if the energy that resides in your being is sadness, guilt, anger, and you deal with this consciousness, you throw on an ankh, you throw on, you know, a hair wrap, and then all that anger, sadness, all of the energy you haven't transmuted, bruh, sis, it's still there. That ankh didn't wash away your trauma. You need to transmute that shit. And if you're not transmuting this negative energy, it don't matter what videos you watch on YouTube. It don't matter who give you a reading. It's so much important that you understand that your trauma is not really trauma. And if you don't understand that your trauma is not really trauma, then your trauma is trauma, and it's kicking your ass. You not showing up in your relationships 100% because you just worried about what this nigga gonna do or what she gonna do to you know, throw a monkey wrench in your plans. You're not even loving that person. So when we talk about lust for result, you know, that result should be evident. Like, I seen this question, like, when should you know that this relationship is serious? From day one. You should know that. You should know exactly that you want a positive long-term relationship with a person, and you willing to work and build on that. Or else you will be waiting for a perfect situation to fit into your craziness, and you judging people. So if you don't have it set up inside of yourself that I want a long-term relationship, then you're not doing the shit. And so you're just wanting a long-term relationship, and you're not never doing any work, any preparation, any alignment, anything. You just hope that is going to happen. And it don't necessarily work like that, and I hope that makes sense. You have to really understand that the things that you want start within you, and you have to just constantly magnetize yourself, constantly build yourself up, constantly ritualize yourself, constantly speak those affirmations, and work hard on it. Because if you speak things into existence that are contrary to the things that you want, that's an energy too. If you're depressed, that's an energy too. And you're magnetizing depressive energy into your being. So it's very important that you do everything that you can do to be clear on yourself. And then from there, want yourself, and you'll manifest through that. If you want this existential world, that's less the result. And that's going to put you in a position where you'll be constantly in some type of rat race, and you're not going to actually help yourself. I'm going to give you one more analogy, a real life analogy, and then I'm going to leave this thing alone. If I was the best root worker on the planet, like I just manifested shit for people, everybody would come to me and be like, yo, I need this root work. I need this root work. I need this root work. And I would be sitting here doing root work for people. What's not happening while I'm doing this root work for people? They're not learning about their energy. The reality is, I'm no different from you. You're no different from me spiritually. Humanly, individually, in this world, we may be majorly different. But when you break us down to the things that are real and true about us, we are identical. All of us walking this planet. Anything that you see done spiritually, you can do that shit too. With enough training, understanding, wisdom, knowledge, application, experience, you can do that too. So I'm this root worker. I'm doing all of this shit for people. Nobody's learning their magic. I'm the king of the voodoo world. I'm doing all the root working shit. That's what Lust the Result is like. It's putting people on a pedestal, and then that person on the pedestal is not even being 100 with you and telling you, bruh, you can do this shit too. Matter of fact, I don't even want to do this shit because you niggas can do this shit too. That's why I raise my prices on my readings, because I realize it's much more effective if I teach people how to do astrology than me actually doing astrology readings for people. Financially, I'll be more prosperous, and then I'll be actually helping more people thoroughly. I'm not giving them fish. I'm teaching them how to fish. So the Lust the Result, it will twist you and flip your whole practice upside down, because you'll know exactly what you need to do to help people, and you won't be so focused on helping yourself. And this is a level. See, a lot of people I know, I feel that they hurt because they have the resources and they have the money, they have the knowledge, they have the relationships, but they'll isolate themselves and they won't help a goddamn soul. For one, they don't know how to help them, and for two, they don't know how to connect to their souls. They really thought, I feel sorry for those people who really thought that a mansion, right, was going to make their lives better, to have an oceanfront estate. And so they worked years to get this oceanfront estate. And now they sitting on the beach alone like a motherfucker, realizing that they spent their last 20 to 30 years with this Lust the Result, and they have got nothing but a big ass house and nobody to trust. So, you know, when you deal with spirituality, I tell people this all the time. When I first dealt with it, I thought it was all about me and my success. When I got the success, I said, oh shit, let me change my whole shit real quick. Because if I don't start helping people, if I start making this shit about me, I'm gonna be somewhere dark. I'm gonna be fucked up real soon. So let me just start helping people. Let me just start building people up. Let me do that. Therefore, I got so many people in my life that support me that it's kind of weird. Like it's so many different people who fuck with me on a personal level that it's like I know exactly where I stand in the world, and I know my purpose, and my purpose is through other people, and I don't have no lust for result in that other than positive interactions between people. It's different when you want a Tesla, 5 Teslas, $1 million homes all over the planet. Of course you can get it. I'm not saying that you can't get it, but what I'm saying is you're gonna block yourself off from yourself. So let's deal with this astrology one time. I mean these tarots for one time. This is long-winded, but I feel like it needs to be talked about. So the Lust the Result is based upon the 3 of Swords, sorrow, heartbreak. And the majority of people, they suffer from heartbreak and sorrow for no goddamn reason. Sorrow and heartbreak is based upon you being a human being. Once you realize that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, then that sorrow and heartbreak has to be examined. It has to be examined, because we're not about to go through this shit like you the only one that's going through some shit today. Because I'm going through some shit too. I got a history too. And if we want to trade war stories, let's do it. I bet you'll be crying before I'll be crying. So let's miss me with the sorrow and the heartbreak. Let's first of all realize that we're a spiritual being having a human experience before you get so caught up in your humanality of shit. Because all this shit could be wiped away tomorrow and you'll have your spiritual existence to deal with. Period. Once you realize this, once you overcome this, then you can see the sun. This is a fact. I need people to realize once you fully accept your spiritual reality, that you are a spiritual being, and that look completely different than a human being, then you can see the goddamn sun in the morning and you ain't gonna have to worry about going to work. And another major key aspect to this is understanding that you don't know shit. We live in moment to moment basis. The best thing to do is refresh your goddamn computer and act as if you don't know a goddamn thing. And look at that person being an asshole and just be like, instead of like, oh, that's my husband. No, look at this person being a goddamn asshole. Oh, that's my wife. No, look at this person. Act like you never seen him before. Cause you using everything existential like the first time we met as a basis for this asshole running havoc in your whole goddamn life. You need to be a fool. You need to look at shit with fresh eyes and see, oh shit. You ain't for me. You is not for me. And from there, you get to the Ace of Cups. The root to your emotional feelings. What is the root to your emotional feelings? Not the existential emotional things. Like, what is the root? To me, the root is realizing that you're not as above, so below. You have spiritual help. You have spiritual connection. And if you feel like you all alone, like, you could never be a spiritual person and be like, I'm alone. Even when ain't nobody around me, I can summon the spirit. I can contact my loved ones that passed away. I can throw on some Jimi Hendrix. I can throw on some Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse would be in this bitch chopping it up with me in a second. You never alone. There's billions, trillions even of spirits who transition that are always at your fingertips. Within your DNA, you have trillions of different beings of life that are just traveling through your bloodstream on the reg. So this idea that you're alone is a false belief, and you need to realize that you are deeply connected to a mass network of spiritual energy. The problem is you're not connecting to it. You're refusing to even acknowledge its existence. And everything is about your goddamn job or your goddamn relationship. Well, what about your spirit guides and your ancestral family that's here for your support and here for your come up? I just want Jermaine back. Like, sis, Jermaine ain't shit. And she fighting for Jermaine, Princess of Swords. But it was really the Prince of Swords. But well, I wrote down Prince of Swords. Well, let's bring Jermaine and Shireen together because they a match made in heaven. Jermaine ass focus on everything but himself, and Shireen ass fighting for everything but herself. The Prince of Swords and the Princess of Swords, they like a match made in heaven. Men, you need to focus. Women, you need to stop fighting. Men, you need to focus. Women, you need to stop fighting. That's some real ass shit. I had to really sit and absorb that. Because this is what's happening. I'm talking to myself too. I tell people that all the time. Finally, the universe. Lust for resort. If you got all of this energy going on within you, you got celestial, amazing shit going on within you, but you don't find no value in that. Come on, man. Let's just sit back and think about this shit for a while. Let's just sit and think about this shit for a while. You feel me? Like, why would I want something outside of myself when within me I haven't even figured it out yet? It could be all types of shit within me, but I want to goddamn old ass muscle car or some shit. Like, but I'll dedicate my life to something that I want without fully examining what's in me. This is a lust for result, and I hope I hope that resonated or that made sense, because lust for result is something that people deal with for years. For years. I've heard this term for years. I'm still caught up by it. You tell me something, I'm like, oh shit, it's about to happen. About to get this money. That's lust for result. I have to kind of take a step back, be like, my soul requires me to have this $1 million bag. Thank you. As opposed to thinking that this money is going to save me or anything like that. I got to always take a step back, understand that this is hard work. This is hard. This is so hard. Why did I do this message? Because I need to focus on my lust for results. I wasn't speaking to nobody in particular. This is something that goes on with me. You understand? This is something that I'm trying to build on and work on with me. I'm trying to realize that everything is within inside of me and let me bring that to light, as opposed to wanting something from you guys, you know? So that was my presentation. Like I said, I got to get somewhere by 10. Just want to thank everybody on the live. Thank everybody that's supporting. Thank everybody who resonated with this message. And hopefully you could cultivate and build your spiritual reality up, as opposed to focusing on some existential thing that's going to bring you value. I really want you to understand that. And nobody is going to speak it or put it down like that. You know. But it's within you. That $1 million bag is within you. Let's bring it to the surface. Peace and love, family. I really love y'all. I really care for y'all. And I'm here every day to make sure that y'all know that. So peace.